Have you ever wondered what it would take to build an entire island from scratch? Imagine a project so grand it not only promises to create new living and commercial spaces, but also pledges to safeguard a city from the looming threat of climate change. That's the vision behind Lunettehavn, a proposed artificial island in the vibrant city of Copenhagen, Denmark. This colossal venture is designed to serve a dual purpose. On one hand, it aims to alleviate the city's housing crunch by providing fresh real estate. On the other hand, it also promises to act as a barrier, protecting Copenhagen from the rising sea levels that pose a significant risk due to global warming. But as with any ambitious endeavor, it's not all smooth sailing. The Unethical Project has stirred up a whirlpool of controversies that have made waves both locally and internationally. The Unethical, an ambitious project indeed, but one that has sparked a lot of controversy. Copenhagen, a city that's no stranger to land reclamation. Over the centuries, this Danish capital has been steadily expanding its reach into the surrounding waters, laying claim to new territories to accommodate its growing population and bustling economy. Land reclamation is not a new concept here. The city's first major reclamation project dates back to the 17th century with the creation of Christianshavn, a neighborhood built on artificial islands in the harbor. This area, once a humble naval fortress, is now a vibrant district teeming with life and culture. In the 18th century, the city pushed further into the sea, constructing the free port of Copenhagen, a crucial hub for trade and commerce. These projects have not only transformed the city's physical landscape, but also its social and economic fabric, driving growth and development. So, the idea of creating new land isn't new to Copenhagen. But Unethical is on a different scale altogether. Behind the grand design of Unethical lies a pressing issue: Copenhagen's housing crisis. The Danish capital, known for its picturesque canals and historic architecture, is grappling with a population boom. As more people flock to the city for its quality of life and economic opportunities, the demand for housing has skyrocketed. Yet the supply of affordable homes hasn't kept pace with this upsurge in demand, leading to a severe housing crunch. Prices have soared, and many residents, particularly the younger ones, are finding it increasingly difficult to secure a place to live. Enter Unethical, an ambitious project designed to alleviate this crisis. The plan? To reclaim land and construct a new island, providing homes for tens of thousands of residents. By creating new residential spaces, Unethical aims to ease the housing pressure and offer a lifeline to those struggling to find affordable accommodation. Unethical, a proposed solution to a growing problem, but at what cost? Rising sea levels, a global concern that Copenhagen aims to tackle with Unethical. As we know, our world is warming, and one of the most significant consequences is the rise in sea levels. This threatens coastal cities worldwide, and Copenhagen is no exception. The city's low-lying geography makes it especially vulnerable to flooding, a risk that's only growing as sea levels continue to rise. Here's where Unethical comes in, serving a dual purpose. Not only does it aim to alleviate the housing shortage in Copenhagen, but it's also designed to act as a protective barrier against the sea. The project's strategic placement and innovative design intend to shield the city from potential flooding, turning a challenge into an opportunity. In essence, Unethical is a bid to protect the city's future, both in terms of housing its citizens and safeguarding them from the impacts of climate change. A two-for-one solution. But is it as perfect as it sounds? Every coin has two sides, and Unethical is no exception. As majestic as the project may be, it's not without its fair share of controversies and criticisms. The ethical concerns are hard to ignore, with critics highlighting the potential for this project to benefit the wealthy and powerful while leaving the less fortunate in the lurch. It's not just a matter of social ethics, but environmental impact as well. The construction of an artificial island could disrupt the local ecosystem, with potential effects on marine life and coastal dynamics that are hard to predict and even harder to mitigate. And let's not forget the local communities. Are we setting a precedent for displacement in the name of progress? Some residents fear they could lose their homes, their livelihoods, and their sense of place in the face of this colossal development. The grand vision of Unethical, now under a cloud of controversy. An $8 billion island, but who's footing the bill? Now that's the question on everyone's mind. Let's dive into the financial estimates of this colossal project, Unethical. As it stands, the bulk of the funding for this ambitious project is expected to come from private investors. However, the Danish government will also contribute significantly. This means that Danish taxpayers will inevitably feel the impact. In essence, the financial burden of this project is a shared responsibility. The government's contribution is seen as a necessary investment for the future of Copenhagen, despite the hefty price tag. And while it's true that private investors will shoulder a large part of the cost, their return on investment is projected to come from the sale and rentals of the residential and commercial properties on the island. So, there you have it. A hefty price tag for a project with so many question marks. So, where does this leave us with the Unethical? We've traversed through Copenhagen's historical penchant for land reclamation, the city's current housing crisis, and the looming threat of rising sea levels. We've also delved into the controversy surrounding the $8 billion island project, Unethical, and analyzed its financial implications. It's clear that the initiative is a double-edged sword, promising much-needed housing while stirring up ethical questions about environmental impact and social responsibility. The Unethical project is a reminder that in our pursuit of progress, we must never lose sight of our ethical obligations. It invites us to reflect on the delicate balance that must be struck between development and sustainability, between the urgent needs of the present and the preservation of our future. Unethical, a symbol of progress or a monument to overreach? That's for you to decide.